No. This is Mario. Beloved, compliments to the season. Let me acknowledge what we all know. Sunday, day before yesterday, that was the beginning of the Christmas season. Yes. Mr. CEO Cedric Armstrong and Armstrong Ice Cream pronounced the opening of the Christmas season 2025-26. What a day. What a day. But beloved, let me not get too far after the truck here. And remember that I have to start at the beginning by digging deep the bottom of my heart and soul to express my gratitude for yet another Tuesday afternoon of information and enlightenment. Naturally, deliciously flavored by Armstrong ice cream. And I remember that 3:30, we will make room for the lady idol reporter, the general, beautiful Aisha. Got to make room for her. She will take center stage with the crucial history question as she has instructed me to come up with a crucial history question so that the correct answer could be complemented by her with a full quart of the favorite flavor of Armstrong ice cream. And that's what I keep saying, beloved. You can't beat that, not even with a black water stick. What a day, beloved. The Christmas season is on. And I don't know, I mean, maybe the Department of Public Safety, that is now the police department, they need to put up a traffic light somewhere between the intersection there, Campo Rico, and the intersection to what in my days as a little boy we had no Lama's Bakery, but then it became Villa Morales intersection. And now I don't know what to call it now. But beloved, it seemed to me, and I think you would agree, that the police department will have to do some kind of something because, beloved, as the listener, when Armstrong ice cream start the Christmas season, you just turn up, you know. that's, and that's how that was this on the bill. It was turn up. to the max. And I mean, I don't know what to say other than as usual, it was a smashing success, beloved. And that is the only thing that anybody could be critical about. But everybody talk about it. So we are going to do with the traffic. Beloved, whether, whether you're coming from east or you come from west, when you sight Amsham ice cream, that's it. You know it there, but it's so much people, and then the tents that was set up. Uh, you couldn't see the side of the top of Amsham ice cream building anyhow. But beloved, if you were driving, by the time you get within what, 500, 1,000 feet, I don't know what to recommend, but it's just once a year. So, ain't nothing gonna kill us. And however you describe the traffic and so forth, good, bad, or indifferent, beloved, it's just once a year. And it is the beginning of the Christmas season. So it need to be something like what it done become anyhow, which is a smash. It turn up. You know what I mean? Beloved, uh, all I need to ask you is, did you get any guava berry to put in your freezer? Because that's all. I move on it. I move on it. Get step out of the way. And that's all I could recommend everybody this one. Make sure you get enough guava berries so you could lick your cream there, and at the same time have some to stash in your freezer at home for when you would know when you want to reach for that guava berry ice cream in your freezer. But what I think is, beloved, I can't find the words other than to tell you that that's the way we don't do what they call the Korean Christmas fiesta. Because Santa Magziga Carnival, we got fiesta. And beloved, there is absolutely nothing like it. And again, it's just love and happiness. That's all that I could tell you is that, beloved, the Christmas season is on, and let us hope and pray that it go like it did Sunday, which is that it turn up everybody maxing out the pleasure and the good time, and no kind of bad feelings, no trouble. I ain't gonna even mention the word that start with a V, and, and the other one that start with a G. Because I think it's pull out out of nowhere, point out at people. Beloved, we don't have that kind of thing for our Christmas. And I am going to be adamant about that. I'm very emphatic beloved, that should be the way we set the trend. Maximum joy and good time. So we gotta turn up, but no kind of trouble. None whatsoever. And again, beloved, you had your favorite flavor for Christmas, which is guava berry. That is part of the Crucian tradition. And again, I ain't no historian. People call me historian, but I am not a historian, beloved. But I do know this, that while we have St. John, we got St. Thomas, and then St. Croix, somehow the guava berry Christmas, it like it belongs to St. Croix. You don't hear guava berry in St. John, you don't hear guava berry in St. Thomas. And not that they got it. Of course, they got guava berry in St. John, they got guava berry in St. Thomas. But they don't have the connection they can have in St. Croix. They don't. And beloved, again, that is what makes it so special, so different, so unique, so St. Croix. And all I can tell you is, beloved, I am sure that you was able to get a good share, a good portion of what you consider to be your favorite eats. Whether it was a plate of food or some kind of dessert, cake or something. Beloved, it was all there. What could I tell you other than that? Beloved, it is official. When Amsham ice cream break out the guava berry ice cream, that is the official beginning of the Christmas season. And that's what we had on Sunday, beloved. Uh, like I said, I don't know, because some people had a suggestion about what to do with the traffic. And even tell me, no, you need to carry look on the bathroom. I said, but that would spoil the whole thing. The point is that it has to be at Amsterdam ice cream. You can't take Amsterdam ice cream shop from there and carry the whole thing down, well, down the bathroom in Wim. You know, you can't carry it to the village. No, Amsterdam ice cream is Amsterdam ice cream. And yes, that it was torn up and you could hardly move and get around it. That is all part of it. That, beloved, everybody wanted to make sure that they get a piece of it. And that's the way it should be. Why not? And what I try to make a point out here is, beloved, how it is the way we are accustomed, we are used to celebrating what we call the Christmas season. That's how we just call it, the season. Compliments to the season. And beloved, Indeed, indeed, indeed. We're now waiting for when it is when this weekend, I mean, yeah. When the village open, that is the next occasion now. Is the village that are set up, motherfucker, shoot on to uh, last night, just to see how the village was coming along and they were a bit, the, the village ready. I suppose would have a finishing touch with this or with that or the other, but everything's set up there. The rails, them and thing, everything was set up. They, they're good to go. And that's the whole point there. You know it. Say what you want about us. Say what you want about how we just celebrate our season. Be critical if you want, but this is how we just do it. And all we doing, beloved, is continuing our tradition that we have known. Well, I know it from the time before we had village. We used to have masquerade all over the street. And in the days, beloved, even for with Sunday and with Monday, which I was up there when I was, but I remember asking one of my granddaughters, you know, when is with Sunday, and she had the slightest idea what I was talking about with Sunday. What is that? But beloved, that's just like how we have evolved in who we are to the point where, beloved, again, I could remember Steve Van Trump, Steve Van Clash. Yes. In the street of Frederickston, where you have a Steve Van Trump coming from one direction and another Trump coming from another direction until they clash. Steve Van Clash was up. Nowadays, the Juve. When I was coming up and making myself a part of the village and everything else, being in every team and Trump, beloved, them days we had never heard about Juve. Juve, what that is, I look at it today. Beloved, as of right now, 2025, 26 season, what could be a higher point, a bigger turn up than Juve? All the young people can't wait for Juve. I know a lot of us older ones say, but just babe, half naked in the street and sleep. So, you know, I am not going to join the critics with that one because The memory is still fresh in my head when we used to do our thing. We had to do it, but we had to join ourselves, and the adults had their way of criticizing us and how to stop doing this, stop doing that, stop with that, don't do that. I think, but beloved, young people will always be young people, and that is how it has been. That is how, in my opinion, it always will be. Because young people will always have their own way of celebrating, and you could bet on it that it is going to be different from how the older wives would approve of it. And so expect that we, the seniors, we, the older heads, would always find ways to criticize how the young people celebrate, how they do this, how they do that, how they do that. But I have to say, but love it in truth, them half naked kind of thing in the Juve. I got to be critical about that one too because I I don't see the need for that. But then again, I all know, and that's how young people say that the Juve have to go. So beloved, let me just get out of the way and let them have their fun. But I still say congratulations to the CEO, Mr. Cedric Armstrong. Armstrong Ice Cream, beloved. It was an official opening of the Christmas season. Well done. And again, we hope and pray that the rest of the season will be as turn up, as joyful, and as peaceful. Let me emphasize that as peaceful, no violence, as it was on Sunday at Absurd Ice Cream. So, beloved, lick your cream. The Absurd Ice Cream is just so good for your soul. You know him? We're back, beloved, and we're talking about us being us because everybody else is taken. So, who we gonna be if not ourselves? And this, beloved, brings me to, I guess you could call it the same old preaching, same old words that I've been hollering and pontificated for the last up to 9 years. But again, like I said, who we gonna be if not ourselves? And that goes for me too. I can't be nobody else. I am who I am. I is who I is. And so, beloved, this being our last talk for the season, because I won't be here next week. We will make room for the season to get turned up and do its thing. But in the meantime, beloved, I want to take the opportunity to share with you what you might know as my inside out cultivation. You know that word. But we got a call, beloved. We got to text it. Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mario. Season greetings to one and all.
Many happy returns to you and yours. Welcome.
Thank you. I just went by accident tune into another radio talk show on an FM station,
Uh,
and I got a piece of, I guess you could call it news there that's very distressing, claiming that the State Department, the same State Department, but it changed the State Department is what Donald Trump said, that nationals from Dominica and Antigua Barbuda would no longer effective immediatamente use their passport to enter the United, not a passport, well, whatever document they are going to be a passport, yes, to enter the United States. You know, the thing that I don't understand is that you'll hear these congressmen, some of them been there for 50 years, some of them been there for a month of years, say that no president can do this and make these kind of decisions on his own and go shoot down people fishing boats and to embargo people's oil tankers without approval of the Congress. However, it continues. So Trump to be laughing at them, or you are saying I can't do it and I'm doing it. So who is going to stop this tyrant? Nobody.
well, apparently, everybody seems to be holding their breath to say what is going to have happening for what they call the midterm elections. And again, you know, you tell me, I don't know, but I don't know of any plan of action from any of the political groupings, since the Republicans are definitely fully supportive of whatever Trump say or do. The Democratic Party, I don't know whether they got any plan of action or any independent group or whatever, so that as much as I know, I am not up to date because I ain't on the internet and all this thing. but it still seems to me like it's a wait and see kind of thing, and everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen with the midterm elections.
Yeah,
But by then, Lord knows what will happen to the United States of America between now and midterm elections. The way Trump going.
exactly my point, Mario. You know, we even have that in the point. Wait till the election, man. Wait. If a person is not doing right, I support countries that are run their leaders out.
Well, I mean, we were all very approving of Puerto Ricans uniting to get rid of Governor Rosselló. I mean, how many years ago was that now? 5 years ago? I don't know. Forget.
But that's the thing. And you just make a good point there because you said wait and see. We're going to wait till the see bombs dropping through the Caribbean. Is the thing Venezuela needs Hispanic countries just go sit down and let this man continue to do what he wants to them?
Well, again, I am not as up to date as you are. Yes, I clearly admit that. But from where I stand, you know, 24, 48 hours behind the time, I don't see any action coming from anybody other than Trump.
Well, that is where the problem is. Yes, but that is why we're going to be heading into a third world war. That everybody said Trump could do what he wants, and they just bothered and he's a congressman going out like silly youngsters. He's ready to do that. And what he's doing it. So stop it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. One thing, I'm not going to sit and wait to see.
But let me ask, and I'm getting everybody might be aware of it, but I might sound presumptuous, but I'm being honest. Like I don't know why, although I heard that, what is it about Antigua and Barbuda as one territory, and then Dominica as the other? What is it about them that caused Trump and the United States to bar them from free entry into the United States? What's the problem?
Mario, there's a word called asininity, and that's exactly what it is. They are saying that it could be a person from a third country using the passport to get into America. I mean, what are these people saying?
What is the problem specifically about those two territories?
About Mario, I can only tell you what I heard. It's something I heard coming out of a news flash. That the State Department said they can't come in and those visas because it could be a person from a third country using that visa.
Okay, all right. So, well,
no, maybe it makes sense to them. It don't make no sense to me.
No, it don't make no sense to me either, because that could apply to anybody, any territory, anyway. You could say that.
Exactly. So why don't they do the embargo the whole world ship and stop people from the whole world from coming to America? Why don't they just do that with one spell swoop?
Don't say it too loud. Don't say it too loud. You might hear you and do it.
Well, you're right. I'm not just about the truth. If I said a little black boy challenging me, he ain't know me. Sorry, I got it.
All right, talk, man. Take care.
Yeah, guys.
All right. Yes, beloved. We're talking about what would be our last chat for 2025. And so I don't know no other way than to be me. And my opinion, my ideology, my philosophical perspective, that's me. And so that's what I got to do. But let me take this card. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Moorhead. How are you doing today?
We're doing well so far. I mean, we are pleased with the opening of what we call it 2025-26 season. The Christmas season is upon us, and it went off with a bang with some ice cream on Sunday. So we are good to go. We are good to go.
Well, as I'm here back in New York, I drove down to Florida a little over a week ago. One of my older sisters who lived in Florida passed.
Oh, my condolences. Sorry to hear that. Was she sick? Was she sick? I mean, when you say whether your older sister, well, how old are you talking about?
Well, when I say that because I'm the baby of the family, everybody else is older.
Oh, okay.
So I have 5 sisters and 4 brothers by my mother's side. So
wow. Okay. I get the sense of it now. You say that you're like but Brian. There was 11 of them, and he was the only male.
Wow. Well, actually, I'm the 11th. But 10 of us grew up together. My mother's 5th child died, from what I was told, as a baby from a brain aneurysm back in the 50s.
Okay.
But 10 of us grew up together. But in actuality, I'm my mother's 11th child.
How about that?
Yeah, I was just sitting in the car, and I just was listening to what you was asking Mr. Litt, as y'all was talking about Trump and the situation with Venezuela and what's currently taking place, and with why you asked him about Barbuda and Antigua and Dominica, why those places. Well, one of the things I could add was Antigua, Barbuda, they didn't like the fact that Trinidad allowed Trump to have his ships there, imported Trinidad closer to Venezuela.
Okay.
And they spoke out about it.
Okay.
So, anytime you speak out about anything like that with Trump, because they said they didn't want American ships. And Grenada, of course, you remember what happened with Grenada in the United States. So several Caribbean countries have spoken out about the current situation with could be pending war in our waters, and because of that, you have now suffered the retribution of Donald Trump by now being placed on this list where your people, your nationals, will be barred or whatever.
Well, I understand that part of it because the Prime Minister, Bissessa, she has made it clear that she is totally on the United States side, and she supports President Trump. And she doesn't understand why CARICOM doesn't want to support President Trump.
And we're talking about for Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Yes, that's Bissessa, that's the name of the Prime Minister. She's of Indian descent.
Yeah.
Kamala Bissessa, I think was her name,
Yeah. So, when I just heard you and Mr. Nibs discussing that, I just remember seeing some news footage, and I recall when the build-up started occurring, they were stating that, this was their stance.
Okay.
And now we see what
don't have the cash, the fuel will not be delivered. So they're still in a precarious way when it comes to financing. And with our Senate, who is just like this Congress in America, has the power but just sits on their ears and do nothing, while the governor goes to Ghana and gets what out of this trip? I mean, did you see any new solutions to help with the infrastructure? You could have gone right into Burkina Faso and talked to Mr. Toure. They're doing a lot of innovative things there in that country. I think that would have been more beneficial.
It certainly would have, but I mean, I've got a lot of people wondered why he seems not to be aware of Burkina Faso at all. But the point is that our government, I mean, this is unincorporated territory as it is, we can't have any relations with any other territory in any country, any nation, other than through Washington, D.C. We got to go to the Department of Interior or the Department of State, so that all that Governor Bryan might have been implying, with his trip to Ghana. I mean, that's nothing other than, him and his close cabinet members just having a vacation, a good time, because there's nothing that they can agree to without the sanctioning of Washington, D.C.
You're so right. And so, this all comes down to, again, education. And if, inside out cultivation of the word.
Yes.
Even preaching. I mean, wow, look how things are working.
Right?
Oh, it's basically inside out cultivation.
That's all it is. That's all it is. Is that, I don't know, again, why it is such a critical proposal for our leadership, but then again, this is how it's been for decades. From, basically, I think from the 1980s, I started using this as the phrase inside out cultivation.
Okay.
And basically, I always say is that, hey, and that's what I was going to be talking about today. Like I said, this is my last talk for the year. Next time we speak will be 2026. Because I'm not going to be here next week. I'm not here next week. I won't be. So that since the 1980s, I've been using that phrase, inside out cultivation, because basically how it almost, listen, we have been a conquered, colonized people. Now that we have some measure of autonomy, Lord Harry the Judge, can we see and we need to see about developing ourselves? We who have been conquered and dehumanized, don't we need to develop ourselves? And here we are. They don't even want to teach our children to know their own history. The most fundamental things, you know. It's like, what's wrong with us? We want to be an inferior people. That's it.
Well, that would be where you would start this turnaround is by educating, our children, the youth coming around now about who they are and where they came from.
Yeah.
Just like a child being born into this world, eventually you don't want to know who your mother is, who your father
Of
is,
course.
if you have brothers and sisters,
Of course.
So that's the same thing. So but like I say, if you look at his success, and I was just looking at it, and like I have a bunch of people that that work here in my building from the Sahel region, and I talked to them, and that's what they say. He was like, they had mangoes that was just dropping on the ground and rotting in.
Right.
Now they're juicing the mangoes.
Right.
So I mean, the things like that we should do. The same thing we have
Thank you.
in the world.
Thank you.
The mango that just dropping on the ground and rotting.
Thank
So
you.
why not? So
We have,
maybe.
I mean, we have tamarind, or we don't call it taman,
Oh, yeah.
that they bring here from, all over Southeast Asia,
From India.
India, and other things in the grocery store. And people actually buy it. While at the same time, our taman and the ground wrapping.
So I mean, when you have establishments like Armstrong Ice Cream, I can't see why this government with the EDC program,
Yeah.
why I sit in here in the Bronx, I can't go over here to Food Bazaar and get a quarter, some lemongrass or sour sapa.
Thank you. Thank you.
It shouldn't be, especially
Thank
in
you.
an area like New York that have, New York City that have, all of the different nationalities in big abundance. So,
Thank you.
just like how Jamaicans have their golden cross patty, it shouldn't be no reason why our cuisine cannot be available
Thank you.
outside of the Virgin Islands.
Well,
The Virgin Islands is territory.
Well, you talk to our good friend, Miss leaders, from the governor to the delegate, the Congress, all of them senators. And I mean, it's like that is revolutionary talk that, I mean, we can't tolerate. It's like you talking about, you know, I guess being anti-American, you
I
know.
mean, from Florida to Texas to New York, the Carolinas, D.C., Virginia, Maryland area. I mean, Virgin Islanders, and just not Virgin Islanders, but Caribbean people and people who just want to have something different to try. That's what tourism is about. When you truly travel to different locations and you
Right.
admire the people culture and and you sample their goods such as their cuisine. So
Yeah.
that's what these programs, I'm sure that's what their intentions were. But like you said, that was the intent, but it just never manufactured itself to come to fruition where, this could be happening. And there's no reason why, it's already a blueprint there in like, we have to discover the wheel again. So, I guess we just waiting for our Abraham Drury to come to lead us out of the darkness, Mr. Moses. And on that note, I'm gonna hang up and give somebody else an opportunity.
It's a grand.
Ain't no reason why I couldn't be thinking some Armstrong ice cream right now. They hit that.
It's just that the inferiority, that our good philosophy leaders are making sure they embed it into our consciousness. With each new generation, we got to be inferior, and so therefore, we ain't got no business promoting anything of our own. Plain and simple.
Listen, yeah, you know, when you do that, you know, when the young people see that, they say, wait, I've been around for over 100 years. No, they plateau. What? If they do that, you know, I could start my own business and, you know, it's inspiring.
Thank you. You know, everybody can see it except our good friend misleaders. What they see it as something, you know, nefarious, that is totally anti-American, and they will not tolerate it. They're not going to support that.
Well, well, people, we have another electoral cycle coming around,
Uh,
electoral coming here. Let's hope we have some good candidates and some quality candidates, and we could maybe, like I say, find our true rate and get the Virgin Islands turned around. And yeah, Mr. Moore, you take care, get them
uh,
safe, and
condolences to you, condolences to you and the family, and we wish you, you know,
thank you so much.
compliment to the season. All the best to you, Mr. Grant.
All right. Thank you so
Yes,
much,
sir.
Mr. Moore.
Good
Same to
thing.
you.
All righty.
Good day.
All righty. Beloved, lick your cream. Because have some ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, and we got a caller holding, so let us welcome them. Good afternoon.
Yes, Mario.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back.
Yeah, I heard you and my brethren Grant talking, and first off, I would like to say my condolences to him on the passing of his sister. I don't believe I know none of his sisters, but I know, of course, his brothers, beginning with Eustace Grant, the cooker, used to be a famed broadcaster and a radio man. And he had two brothers, one of which is a Rasta fellow, mathematician, teaching in one of the high schools. So anyway, my sympathy with that. Now, two things that he said I'd like to just touch on very quickly. With regards mango, fruit, tamarind, whatever it is, rustling on the ground, but we see it fit to go in the store and buy them from Vietnam and whatnot. I believe it's because of what our governor said. We don't like to get we hands dirty. Your hand will let dirty picking up these things out of the ground, you see. So you spend any amount of money, you don't know what the people put in them things from which the country they come from, but you can buy them because it's so easy just to go in a store and whip out a credit card and buy it. You see? That's one part. The other part he mentioned was with the WAPA, and he touched a bit on the past outage that we had. I don't know what I'm not going to call his name, the director of WAPA thinks it is with coming on a radio program that he would pick to come on and be joking and laughing, and it's like a big laughing spree. We're talking about a lot of money that's going down the drain, a lot of people equipment that's damaged, a lot of people have inconvenience, and it's just a big laugh, you see. But I gotta say one thing. I'll give Jacket. He finally started to fess up and tell the truth. Because from the time the thing happened, myself and others asked some questions publicly. And on Saturday, I heard him on a program, and he admitted that the outage that they were hoping would have only been about an hour ended up all day because I tried to use the correct word to use. Not that they misunderstood, but they misconstrued what the real cause of that caused the outage to begin with. As he explained, it was a transformer that caught fire somewhere in the yard, wherever, and at the plant. And they thought just by firing up another generator to take the place of that, it would have solved the problem. But he admitted that it made it worse. Because with the fall current coming back in from substations and all, it bypassed insulation, switches, it brought up switches, lights and arresters. And, they should have known that they needed to not just fire, you got to check from where the thing caught fire, go all the way back to find out what would have happened, what could have added to the cause of the outage. But that, they would hope that maybe I wouldn't say these things, but yet in some way they look like a glass which I ended up going correct a lot of things, not me alone, Grant and a lot of us, Brother Aaron said, you see. But, I know better, because I know, even though he said he don't do these things as we used to do, Sunday morning with some others. I didn't have to do that because I'm not a lineman. But I'm a supervisor, and how can I tell people to do something that I afraid to do or believe I too large to do? And yes, there's a current stronger than the current from a plant, and it is called lightning. The lightning burn those lightning arresters on top of the plants to shreds and almost electrocute the 3 or 4 of us, an Antigua fellow and Fijian fellow that was up there best down myself. So, you know, they got this thing as a joke. And the more money you pay people, the less it's supposed to do. But I suspect that will continue. Oh, by the way, I'm going by saying this, Mario. What we were hoping would happen or would not happen, or maybe would happen, that Trump would leave the $600 million for the plant in St. Croix on the table. He said that is not even being considered. So I guess at the end, the plant will say right there, right big. All right, gone.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you for your patience, man. Welcome.
Yes, man. Thank you. I'm listening to the radio and I'm still hearing the person now. That's why I didn't know you're ready for me. God bless you. And, okay? I'm so glad that today is your last scenario, right? I'm so glad today is your last on the air.
Thank you.
And why I say that is because last day for the year anyway, because I say your mouth need a rest. Your mouth need a rest. I said that in light of a little child that told his grandmother. The grandmother said she'd been married 50 years to your grandfather. They married to your grandfather 50 long years. And the child said, "Oh, you've been married that long?" The grandmother was happy. She said, "Yes, mom. You know, marriages don't work, but I make my work and stick out." 50 years. The grandchild said, "You must be bored." 60 years, you must be bored. You know? Sorry, you don't find it funny, but a lot of people do. But they get the joke, right? That you're being
I get it. I'm sorry with you, you know, and I find it to be very witty.
Listen, we've been talking for long. And it's so funny how you mentioned something, sorry, and that's what triggered me to call you because I do a show on Mondays, and I in part of the conversation of the show, I said, who are we, you know? What kind of people are we? You know? It was the title of that show, or not the show itself, but the episode was Public Trust versus Public Betrayal. Okay? Public trust versus public betrayal. And then I started to think about 1917 when we got, when we were transferred, according to history, we were transferred from Danish rule to American rule. And as the saying or understanding that I got, it goes that the people didn't even know what to expect. You know, some were happy, some were not. But for the most part, they didn't know what to expect either way. They were happy to not be under the Danish rule with the gendarme and all the rudeness to that. But and then some were still happy to go and went off to Denmark and so forth, leave the territory. Others stayed under the American flag again, still not knowing what are the in for. Are they in for better rules? Are they in for more humane treatment and so forth? They wanted the in for, they weren't sure. And then when you fast forward it now, and you see, wait a minute, what can we get for that, you know, departure from one colonial master to another, you know? And you see that, okay, at least we'll be under our own people, and we can't be happier, and so forth. And like you say and call them, you know, for nothing misleaders, here we are today. And you're seeing no fruit. I personally, I'm seeing no fruit from that transition. You know, I went doing much better than us, I suppose. Agriculture is one thing that we must be taking seriously. You know, all these people don't think that we're going around. You never start to catch up on it, if you can hear my voice. It's like we could be doing so much better off. And here we are struggling for air. I just received something in their social media, a man who used to work at OMP, and he's telling his story there. Said his wife asked him to put out a comment on this Jennifer O'Neill indictment and conviction and so forth. And he's clearly saying that, you know, this woman wanted him to do a lot of things that were nefarious, you know, changing a lot of numbers to make things look rosy and glossy, you know?
Yeah.
This is not, and I'm glad at the end of the year, guys, thank God, Lord, because we have to create a new mindset, Mr. Boyd. We have to move in to 2026 in a different vigilance, with a different vigilance.
But this is, and I realize I'm interrupting you, but I think it's worthwhile to interrupt you to ask, because I would very much like your opinion, and others, I'm not excluding anyone, as to what do you think we need to do to incentivize, to just mobilize, you know, better, or let's just say a different kind of leadership. Because, like I said, this good for nothing, this leadership, I mean, it's not taking us anywhere. All they're doing is trying their best not to offend our colonizers. So that, you know, even though the United Nations says per capita we have the highest murder rate in the Caribbean, that's not a problem to our leaders. If the murders, the violence had extended to white people, and oh my God, to tourists, it would be a whole different situation. And this is what I mean is that, in other words, as long as we are well behaved and don't do or get involved in anything untoward, the leadership from Washington, D.C., colonizers, well, we're good to go. And that's why I call it good for nothing misleadership, because we have no leadership that recognizes the fact that we're a conquered people, a people who are dehumanized, continues to be dehumanized by neocolonialism, and we don't have any leadership to improve our situation to the point where one of the biggest controversies that is still raging in our community is, why is our government so opposed to us having Virgin Islands history and basic Caribbean history taught to our students in school?
Yeah. To keep us in exactly the situation you're talking about. You understand?
Yes, I do understand, yes.
Yes. So that's the purpose of that. Plain and simple. But what we need to do, and you asking that, the first thing is to stop sitting on our behind and our fingers when it comes to elections. Okay? Now, yes, I'm a member of the board. Okay? And I can't sit here and tell you, yes, there's this and that and corruption and going on there. I can't, point that out per se, but I will tell you one thing. We can all agree that the transparency is gone. Okay? The transparency that people ask for. And I'm talking about what people ask for. Not us thinking about what is signal thinking about. I'm saying what is open them out and ask for. Okay? And when that transparency is taken away, then you have doubts in the results. Now, the way that you're going to get things moved, and the simple way for people to even effectuate that is to start to nominate candidates, I should say aspirants, people that you believe will change or move the needle in this place. Nominate those people that you actually going to them and saying, look, I believe you can do this. I want you to run. I'll put you up. I'll help to finance it. I'll do whatever. You let them know what you can do, or ask them, what would it take for me to do to help you to move to that?
Would you believe that right here on this platform of information and enlightenment, as I call it, I have time and again asked people like yourself, to why not get involved? And time and again, I get all kind of reasons, but it's always opposing involvement. They don't want to be involved. They don't want to be involved.
Maybe for not themselves as you believe in them, for one thing. You know, they don't believe in their own self. You know, maybe they've been beaten down so much, but for those who are strong in themselves and know themselves, and I think, like I said, the title of that show, which is Public Betrayal, Public Trust versus Public Betrayal, is because when people, we give them the trust, and then they get in there and they betray us. So it then becomes public betrayal, and it doesn't stop and start with just the legislature and those elected, you know. It extends out to every gamut, the full gamut.
Yeah.
In the thing that I was reading about the OMB person that left, you know, because of Jennifer Lee's treatment and so forth, it extends all to all the whole cabinet members and everything else. So you have to understand that election is where it starts. That's the basis, that's your foundation. If you don't see that, you're not going to see the joy, you're going to reap the fruit. It's anything else. I'm not saying nobody must just jump up and run for higher office like the, you know, other things, but just even if you want to start at the board, and you really mean that we're going to follow these laws and make sure transparency comes back so that nobody has to question the results. Nobody has to question the results. You would know for sure Jackie won and Joe lost. Joe won, Jackie lost. That kind of thing. So you have to be assured of that. It will create more participation as well. Okay? So I'm asking people to look and pay attention to, okay, nominate the people that you believe would be great assets, right, to your government. This is your government. You're still the boss. The people are still the boss. So why the leaders aren't listening to taskers? Well, they're not your leaders. Leaders are fruit. Okay? The fruit will come. You will know that they are listening to you. You will know from the actions. So when you see the actions that are there, simple is that they're not your leaders. Okay? The ones that you wanted may not have been won. So nominate the ones you want. Stop sitting and waiting to see how the ballot turns. You know, how the ballot turns. They're just waiting to see that. People will tell me, Mr. Mohammed, they're not going to vote because, even though they're registered, they're not going to vote because they're tired of seeing the same name on the ballot. I asked them, well, whose fault is that? You can't blame the man for going to name on the ballot over and over and over and over. He believe in himself. Other people believe in him. Over. That's who do you believe in?
Yeah.
Start and nominate and push out. This is the time when the calendar is out, the election system calendar for the year for the 2026 election, and also the ballots will be coming eventually, and also there's an opportunity where the petitions, you know, those papers you got to fill out, and this is the time for you to say, look, bring up who you want to fill out these things, and blah 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 blah. It might be yourself.
I hope that your voice is more persuasive, Ms. Arnold. 26 and the 26.
We're going to take the mask out of our eyes. It's not on our skin now, it's on our eyes. We just take that whole thing out. Okay? It's like, you know, when you get gangrene or something, take it out. Clean up yourself. Go have your fun time, the festival time. Go have all of that. Sober up. And when January, whoever hits that by, you think you start to sit down. And even before that, know who you want. Start to write it down. Many times we're going to the phone with a newspaper, and we know we will check out. You understand? Right now, your sister pushing through a bill, and that's great. It will create some level of transparency when ballots are hand counted. It will be a great discussion at that Senate. So I can't wait in January because I'm begging them to let us testify. Don't leave that to just the chairman and the supervisor and that. Whoever wants to testify, whoever, other board member, whether it's people out there in public, testify for and against. Let's see the pro and cons. You know, but we need to have different methods right now in the toll. The board of election is that's our duty. We're bound by duty to create other ways to vote, not just electronic voting. It's right there in the law. So we can't subjugate people to just vote on a machine. Just take your ballot and pass it through a machine. That's not all right. Because it's not in the law. It's not in line with the law. The law says ways. It's an S on the end. It's plural. We have to have voting systems and voting equipment and electronic. All kind of things it says in that particular law. Anybody want to look it up? 524. Take up Title 18 and look at 524. Okay? So Section 524, the statute is right there, clear as day. So when you want to say this and this and this and that is outlawed, please understand that there's a lot of things that to create other ways. You can't force nobody. We don't have pigs in the Virgin Islands voting. We are people. We are people and we are human. And if we are comfortable, I've tried every time we are voting this tomorrow. I've tried early voting, I've tried the excess vote, I've tried the DS vote, I've tried different ways. And none of them give me real comfort and satisfaction. You understand? So we know we got vote. I remember one year when I refused, I said, me want to vote. I had a ballot, but I did not want to vote. and then pass it to the machine for us. As I refuse to participate in this foolishness, they beg me, those that are supporting me, that we took that to vote, Charlie ballot. And the last minute is when they went and do vote. The last minute.
Well,
we don't want anybody voting against their will. That's how my point is. I'm ahead of the grievance committee. You think I want to sit there receiving all kind of reports over and over, kind of complaints coming into me? That's not what I want. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to avert and be very, very proactive and avert these kind of things, or complaints.
Well, we're going to keep hope alive for 26.
But let's go rest our mouth, because I'm telling you, get tired of talking, I'm going to tell you the truth. We get tired of talking. It's human we be.
We do. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And that's what people got to do. Stop waiting on the ballot. Start to nominate people from now. You'll be surprised who says, yes, I will jump in the ring. But you got to do what you got to do to make sure your level of whatever you call transparency is there. Become a poll watcher too. Don't just go and vote and go. Become a poll watcher. Encourage poll watchers. Okay, Mr. Moore, I say that covered it, but that's who we are as a people. We are very resilient. That's why we don't like to be taken advantage of. We don't like that feeling. You know?
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's respect ourselves and respect each other. Okay, blessings to you.
Thank you.
And your family.
All the best for the season.
And you too, sir.
Yes, sir.
You too.
All right.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for your call and your patience. Because you've been patient.
Yeah. But I've been on the other end, so no problem. Okay, no problem waiting. Yeah, a couple of things. One, has anybody told you about the brawl that seems to have taken place in Plaza East?
No, so repeat that, please.
Has anybody told you about the brawl that seems to have taken place in Plaza East between, it seems like, 2 men and 3 women?
No.
So,
when was this?
I don't know when. I just saw the video yesterday.
Oh, you saw that? Well, imagine. Oh my God. No. And again, that speaks to my situation that yes, because I am not online, not on the internet, I'm usually 24, 48 hours behind on current events. And hey, I am now learning that yes, such a brawl did take place at the plaza. Well, there's only one plaza now, anyhow. But again, no, I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah,
But
I didn't expect you to, because I know you and the internet, but I was just wondering if somebody had, that one of your callers had mentioned it before.
No,
because I
no.
didn't catch the hour. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so apparently, I don't know what caused it. I just saw the video. So it seems a man attacks a man and 2 women jump on another woman. And then it seems like a child, maybe around 10 or so, a boy, it seems like from the video, then gets into it. The bigger man has the smaller man down, and the child comes and punches him at least 3-4 times.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, that is such a bad idea. Because that man, I'm assuming it was his father, is not going to be with the child 24/7. This other man might catch the child on the street by himself. And there will be no match. There will be a slaughter. And that's why when we're growing up, young people need to keep out of big people's business.
Mm.
Because they can't handle it if they're caught alone. They are not going to be. You want people to look at your child and think that here, this is a child, and treat them accordingly. You don't want people to be adults to be looking at your child and thinking in any fashion that child is adult-like. That's not going to end well.
No, you're absolutely right. You're right. I have no criticism to offer to the advice that you are sharing here with my beloved audience because, yes, I agree with you.
And the thing is, it's not like the adult, I'm assuming the father, was losing the fight. So if he was losing the fight, you might say, okay, you have patience. The child is going to want to try to rescue the father.
Yeah.
But there was no way that he was had total control over the other guy.
Yeah, I get your point. I get your point.
And so there was still a need for that child to get involved. Even the punches that the child was throwing, because that was going to hurt the guy.
Yeah.
It was totally unnecessary for that child to be involved.
Yeah.
And nowadays, there's videos. So that guy saw exactly what that child did to him.
Yeah.
Now, in the past, maybe he wouldn't have realized who was involved in the child, but not today. That video is being circulated. I'm sure he's being put up. I'm sure he's being teased by other people about this, letting him off. Now to want to seek revenge on the child.
Yeah.
That was such and the parents didn't see it. Back in my day, my father would be like, no, brush me off, and no, this is not your thing.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. You're correct.
But the adult man, he didn't even do any effort to stop the child from getting involved.
Yeah.
This is just terrible thinking or lack of thinking.
Yes, lack of thinking, yes.
And this is what escalates things. This is what ends up with, not in this particular case, but in general, of people not thinking about what's going to happen the next day. What's going to happen 5 days from now, based on what I did today. And it is clear that this guy was not thinking about the future and his child.
Yeah.
Because if he gave any thought to it, he would have realized that was a totally bad idea. Something that might seem like a good idea initially, but you follow the dots, connect the dots as to what is likely to happen in the future, and you realize how bad of an idea that was.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first thing that came to my mind when I was like, what the hell's going on? This is not a good idea. That child should not be in the middle of this. This is making that child quite vulnerable days after this fight is over. If that guy wants revenge, and it's obvious that he was smaller than the other man, so unless he goes with a gun, he's not likely to win something with it.
You made a case. You made your case.
Yes.
I only hope that that this video, as you speak, spreads, and it so that that kind of situation is not repeated, because what has already happened is too late, and we can only hope, you know. But you're absolutely you're absolutely right, you know, and it should be emphasized as you are emphasizing it, because yes, this is how we make a bad situation, as I would say, wasarara.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell people, it's best to learn. The best thing is to learn from other people's mistakes, so you won't pay the price. Now, the next best thing is learning from your mistakes.
So
but
true.
from your mistakes, you're paying a price for it. So if you can learn lessons from other people's mistakes, you get ahead in life.
So
You're
true.
not paying the prices that they pay.
Yeah.
And so that's what I try to do, and I try to encourage other people to do. When you see things like this, you see, okay, how could this have been handled better? What were the mistakes made? So that if you find yourself in a similar situation in the future, you don't go and make the mistakes that how many other people have made already. I told you, it's like me going down the road, and I'm going a couple potholes, I come back home, and I tell them, okay, when you're going down the street, there's a pothole by the mango tree, then there's another pothole by the tamarind tree. And and dropping those same potholes, I am going to be telling them how dumb they are. Because I want them. Now, yes, we will be involved in potholes that I haven't. I didn't go down the road as far, you know. And so there's going to be potholes that I can't tell you about. I know you may drop into. And then you can tell your children and others about those potholes. But don't always drop it in the same potholes that I dropped it and I warned you. I dropped it there because nobody warned it.
You have delivered a powerful message to my beloved audience in this crucial Christmas time where little incidents can become big trouble. So I want to give you a big crucial hug up for that one, and thank you so much. But we are at the top of the hour, but I couldn't but reward your patience.
Sorry. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. All the best.
All right, amen.
Beloved, lick your cream, because Armstrong ice cream is just so good for your soul. that way of it. And we gotta call it impatient, so let's do the right thing and welcome them in. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Mario,
Yeah, there.
right. On your program for enlightenment and so forth about around the same time that the governor had made an announcement that he was going to Africa. And I asked just for the consumption of the public, and you answered it correctly, that such a trip would have had to be approved by the State Department, right?
Correct, yes.
Right. Okay. Well, now that that has happened, and I don't know why the State Department, as I was made to understand, is exacting or asking for receipts to justify the cost of this trip. Of course, they already knew who flew because they have the manifest from the airline. But all other costs, hotel, meals, transportation, ground travel, and liquor, and all of this, they want to see the receipt. Now, somebody asked me why I think they are asking for these receipts. Why are they exacting so much? Is it because of the fact that the State Department got wind of the war documentary? Not just a documentary, but documentary paid for by the government of the Virgin Islands. Maybe some federal funds. I don't know. So they're asking for that, and we'll wait and see how this will all pan out. You see.
I was not aware of this. I am now being apprised. And again, my response is that whatever the federal government requires, our local government knows very well that they have to comply.
Well, of course.
And so I don't know what else to say, but when you speak in terms of a documentary, again, that makes me reflect on this movie, as that's how it was told to me, that the governor wanted to make a movie to preserve his legacy as governor of the Virgin Islands. And so,
But what legacy, Mario?
I don't know. I'm just responding to your comments by saying, well, like, hey, this plays into it. And so I guess the Ghana trip would be included in this movie that the taxpayers are funded. But again, because we are complacent, again, and the legislature, as far as I know, have not put up any opposition to the governor using taxpayers' funds to, to cover the expenses involved in whatever all this movie costs.
But, Mario, the question must be asked. Is it that he and his advisors don't know better? Or they feel they're going to be like Trump and do what they want?
Well, but again, I don't know if it's like, because of the Trump phenomenon, but the reality is that this is the governor's second term, and that he has every reason to think that he has the support of the electorate, because that's just it. I mean, when it first came in, it was after the major hurricanes, and it was all about, the incumbent administration not moving effectively to deal with the response that was required. And like I've said this before, the campaign that the Brian Roach challengers came with is that, hey, elect us and we are going to immediately, set up a modular emergency system for the hospital. And it was effective. It was effective. The MAP administration was outed, and lo and behold, we never did get the modular hospital until the second term of the governor. And I'm mentioning it so that you could actually realize how much support he has, because he went through his first term explaining the delays about the modular not being in place as he had promised. He got re-elected. And it was not until the first year of his second term that the modular emergency room was open here on St. Croix.
Okay.
And so that speaks to, but that speaks to support, is that even though he did not, follow through with his promises, he still got reelected. And here now he's doing all of these things, and I don't see any groundswell of disapproval, and I don't hear of any disapproval coming from the legislature. Everybody is good to go, and so who knows how much this movie is going to cost, but I'm saying all of this in response to your call about a documentary with this Ghana trip. It's like, hey, he's already sold it to the electorate, and the electorate, by their silence, is complicit and embracing it.
Okay, Mario. Well, then, what you say is correct. I also realize that. But I must ask, what support that the governor of Islanders have or would have that the federal government gave a damn about? You tell me.
I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, I can tell you. Let me tell you something.
I'm listening.
If the governor and anyone else in the Virgin Islands thing, because he was re-elected by wasn't even a large majority of the people, that makes him immune to federal audits and demands. Does it?
Absolutely not. Like I said earlier in this conversation, he very well knows that whatever the federal government in Washington, D.C. requires, he better come up with it. But
better. But you see, Mario, and the thing is, it's coming up with it. They don't expect that you'll be so foolish as to rent or book them up. You'll get them straight information. And don't fund them. The Wampa office, like was done one time when the federal government wanted to do an audit, I said the record them get bought up. I mean, I just trying to warn them, because I believe I have come fast to realize how these people think. They know that. We think their heads are big. They got to full of knowledge. Jamila Russell show on a Saturday morning where the governor said he needs no legacy. Jamila had to correct it. Tell him to stop it. But all of a sudden now he wants a legacy by having a movie and documentary paid for by the, I don't know. We like a lot of stupidness, you know. We like a lot of stupidness. A little place where they can't help America do nothing. And we think we can get help because the governor. Oh my Christ. Mario, anyway, I'm going to put up the side and I'm just going to say this. You having the thing to it? My mind is upside down now.
Crucian history question is at 3:30.
Yes, that's I'll try to get one of the history question.
Yeah.
Because I would hope that today I would win the number 10 time.
I wish you well. I wish you well.
So as to improve my rating as a consummate gambler. I need a rounded number, Mario. 10. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
All right. Beloved, I started out at the top of the 1 o'clock hour, offering to give you what would be my last soliloquy for this year 2025, and that we won't be on again until January. But Tarakala, so full stream, beloved, full stream. Good afternoon. Welcome. Many happy returns to you. Many happy returns.
Well, according to the open speech, you let them know that we don't know who this is. And that's because we're in the season. The question I will ask, right?
Yeah.
Because the culture and the hope that I saw they should be for this when the treat they're gonna get from the great Armstrong I speak. I'm wondering if to get any of this textbook to study it. Right?
Yeah.
I could never get tired of trying to find out who we be. According to how we become to come on this island here. I had a lady calling and she was talking about, how we would be canceled by several nations. But we gotta let them know, St. Christ alone had them 7 flats. Beat our ancestors like how you would say, east about it. Okay?
That's right.
You'll remind them about that there. And I just been reading the book again, and I just realized that this little island played a part in the doctrine of discovery.
Yes, indeed.
But that's a great job, so let me take your break. I got it.
Very fine. Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mary. How are you?
Welcome, man. We'll try my best to hold on here. Welcome you.
Good.
I'm listening to you.
Mary, the whole song, jumping up, she jumped there, I mentioned that. In that song, Mario, somebody said, just like acid rain, burning through the food.
Yes, indeed.
That's the primary, that's in the 80s song, right?
Yeah.
It's like 20 years after they was experiencing these types of things. I have to put it in the song, Mario.
That's right.
And I know when acid rain too, only 14, this is your head. If you're not
Right.
And you might not even know it if you in your head, you know?
Right.
But especially in Mario, that those leaders don't understand what was going on. Even then, they tell them not to see that sunrise. And that would have caused a lot of things from a lot of people, but they just have to acknowledge it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, not to be with your fault and not helping anything about it, but I think that you could have been one of them, or you had the problem, or you went away for a while, you know? You know?
I hear you, but I mean, but that's the unfortunate part of our story is that for just about 100 years now, because it was really the 1920s when we had our high point in terms of inside out cultivation, local leadership. And that would have been the height of the St. Croix Labor Union then. All right. Now, here we are 100 years later, and it is quite clear we have not been able to produce the leadership that has any concern for the fact that historically we've been a conquered people, a colonized people who resisted and took every opportunity to push back until 100 years ago. And since then, we just simply have not been able to come up with the leadership that our situation desperately requires so that we can grow from the inside out. I mean, that's why we call it inside out cultivation. We are, and I mean, the best example is the one I continue to offer to my beloved audience here is look at us. You know, many said it's because it was Bob Bryant. Beloved, that's another excuse. You are going to tell me that because of Bob Bryant, we don't want our children to know our own history? How that sound? But this is where we are at this junction of our development. As we close out here the year 2025, you know, we do not have a judgment from the courts as to where we stand with the law that requires the teaching of Virgin Islands history and basic Caribbean history in our schools. That's how pitiful we are.
Well, it's a shame, Mario. We have plenty of history at the museum at home because every single book and you see the locals in a lot of those. A lot of that stuff you go to not just the Windies, you could go to, you know, Yucca, where you there, and learn a lot of different things about the local person. You know?
Yes, but the thing is,
it was like,
but that's no, that's I'm interrupting you to say that. But we need this with our government. You know what? The governor, the delegate to Congress, the senators, they are the ones who have to be thinking how you and I are talking right now. And they don't at all demonstrate any kind of concern for our development as a people who have been conquered and colonized and continue to be colonized. That's how shamefully pathetic our situation is.
yeah, it's a shame, you know. But I love you to say the community always, man. It's to say certain things, you know. Whatever they're telling you, it's always the opposite.
Yeah. Right.
But those are certain things that will happen. The president has 3 books, but the tell us one. And that's what people say, it's three islands, you know.
Right.
St. Thomas, St. Thomas, and you know, St. Thomas.
Right.
It's three islands. You gotta have three folks, you know. But
Well,
somewhere there, a lot of things is done, being still done today, and paperwork, and they do not want to show their hand in terms of digital or anything like that. So that the more they can write it down, you know, paper could disappear. You see?
I hear you.
For what I'm saying, this is my analysis, what's called a timeline evidence.
Yeah.
I'm researching, I'm looking at a lot of what's going on in the local government and the leaders there, what they're doing, how they get in trouble, how they're spending money. We had one more recently, spent a lot of money from FD, and they sit down and they asked him, well, are you a senator? And he says, no. Well, you're a lawyer? And he says, no. Well, what are you? A commissioner? You know, how could you know, maybe he saw that money coming through before he leaves his hand, he said, no, man, this is going to hit at the top. So let me take my feet out and take 20 million, or whatever it was, 20 or 40 something million to cover some of that money from the FCC, and we don't know where it just disappeared. But that's what is always what's called forensic audit, and you could filing and follow the money and it tell you the story all these plans.
I hear you.
You know?
Yep.
But you have to have the Justice Department, the FBI involved, etc. You know?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of things that's being done, and they will tell us a lie before they tell us the truth, and then they will still go and choose.
Yeah.
You know, that's treated as a lie.
I hear you.
But a lie is just temporary, the truth is forever.
Yeah.
And that is the number one thing that the conscious you have to understand. You know, the lie is just temporary, the truth is always the truth is always there.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't believe on that note, Mario. The shame we are supposed to be guided. I see the light. The other end, I'm sure we have to change hands with the governor of the moon.
We're going to do our best to keep hope alive.
Yeah, man.
Let's stay strong.
But the
All right.
government, it's a shame that we want it to be a better place, you know, but our legal enforcement don't want us to the community, don't want us to the people, and the people have to see what's really and truly going on, be involved.
Yeah.
And you see what they're doing. Even rich themselves and they're not on you and looking down at you. It's a shame, Mario.
Yep.
So you could have more money to get everybody involved and everybody owning business and so forth. Get the community more involved. You know? So I'll leave on that note.
Stay strong. All right.
We want economic.
Okay. Beloved, it's time to lick some cream because Abshaw ice cream is just so good for your soul. With that, beloved, and yes, indeed, we have been, well, making every effort to leave you with inside out cultivation and how it is my deepest commitment as a host in this program of information and enlightenment to have my beloved audience committed to doing whatever it takes to make us a better people. And you might want to say, Mario, what do you mean by that? A better people? And it is the same inside out cultivation, beloved, that perhaps it is that we don't want to face our history. We don't want to confront our reality. But that's what it is. Beloved, we are the descendants of a conquered people. We are the descendants of a colonized people. And while up to 100 years ago, our history manifested and demonstrated how our ancestors resisted. And that's why I say, beloved, it's like 100 years ago that the St. Croix Labor Union, led by David Hamilton Jackson, reached its peak just about a century ago, 100 years ago, in the 1920s. And here we are today with the opportunity to make change, with the opportunity to commit ourselves to grow from the inside out. And yet, beloved, we have been unable to produce the kind of leadership that commitment requires. And this is why we keep coming back to the same failure of our government to allow for our children, students in school, to get to learn who they are. get them to be able to embrace an identity. But like that was seemingly asking too much of our good for nothing leaders. So that our government today could find a wherewithal and the necessary funding to produce a movie. Yes, a movie about the accomplishment of Governor Albert Bryan Jr. This is what we as an electorate is complicit in. We can't avoid being guilty of allowing these things to happen. Because, beloved, in 1970, which is now 55 years ago, our colonizers, United States of America, they authorized us as a colonized people. They authorized us the autonomy to be self-governing. And in November of 1970, we were able to elect our own government for the first time. Now, beloved, we have had nine elected governments since then. I could certainly write a book about these 9 governments. And believe you me, it would not be very complimentary. Without being individually critical of these 9 governments that we have elected, you tell me, beloved, which one of them has ever recognized us, including the incumbent one? Which one of the 9 has ever recognized us as being the descendants of enslaved humanity? You tell me. Beloved, this is how we have embraced our inferiority. We pretend to not want to hear about our history. Because as we say, It is too depressing. It's such a brutal, inhumane history of our humanity that we don't want to hear about it. That, beloved, is one of the core reasonings that we use to avoid identifying ourselves with our history. We refuse to recognize ourselves as descendants of enslaved Africans. You tell me which one of these 9 elected governments has ever so much as even mentioned that we are descendants of enslaved people. Because, beloved, growing up here, it was a big no-no to even associate ourselves with Africa. Growing up here, it was an insult to identify ourselves as Black people. We were Negroes. We were colored people. Never identified as descendants of enslaved people. And here we are today, beloved. Having to admit, that's right, having to admit that we don't want our children, our students, we don't want them to know that we are descendants of enslaved Africans. Beloved, the reality is confronting us that we refuse to accept the reality that our history right here in what we today know as the Virgin Islands of the United States, beloved, from the arrival of the first Europeans to settle on this 84 square mile island called St. Croix. That was in 1625. 1625. Beloved, that is exactly 400 years ago. How is it that as we close out this 400 year, we don't have the commitment, we don't have the courage to admit that more than half of those 400 years, our ancestors were the enslaved humanity right here on this 84 square mile island. That's right, beloved. From 1644 to 1848 is 204 years. That tells me that for 204 of the 400 years that this 84 square mile island has been here colonized. Beloved, more than half of it, 204 years, our ancestors were enslaved. From 1644 to 1848. Just subtract that from the 1625 when the Dutch first came here and built at Fort Louis Augusta that used to be the home of this radio station. 1625 to 2025 is 400 years. Subtract the 204 years from it. Just compare them. And that is the reality of an enslaved people. To get our minds around that. And so we disguised it by saying, well, if it hadn't been for Brian, we would have long ago been teaching our children the history. Beloved, what other lies are we going to try to comfort ourselves with? I prefer to lick my cream because I find it much more comfortable. As Armstrong ice cream is just so good for my soul. We're back, beloved. And yes, 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 your timepiece is correct because I am pretty certain that it is now less than a half an hour before we deal with our Crucian history question. Yes, beloved. According to our timepiece, we got 25 minutes before we ask of you the Crucian history question for today. And again, beloved, these are our questions that, if nothing else, they indicate how hardened, stupid, and just out and out reluctant we are to accept the greatness of our history, the courage, the resistance of our ancestry. But, beloved, we are yet to open our arms and embrace with a big Crucian hug up that yes, this is who we are proud of it, and we are going to make it even better with inside out cultivation. I don't know, beloved, but as I have said time and again, it doesn't take a genius to be a government for the people. The governor, the lieutenant governor, the delegate to Congress, the senators, they don't have to be exceptionally intelligent, just committed to developing us as they allude every 2 years in their campaigns when they're saying, vote for me, elect me. And yet here we are, beloved, totally reluctant to hug up ourselves, to love ourselves, to recognize ourselves for who we are. And the lady that I just call a general, beautiful Aisha, she sat through it. And she is the one that hooked me into this Crucian history question, 3:30 every Tuesday afternoon. And beloved, it has most definitely given me a lesson that I otherwise would not have considered. But, beloved, just about every Tuesday afternoon, I am confronted with it when I have to realize that our history is so rich, so full of courageous, accomplished people. And yet, we allow for inferiority to smother us to the point that we don't want any part of our history. And so every Tuesday afternoon, 3:30, here we are, excited about it, but still refusing to deal with the reality that we really don't want to embrace our history. We really don't want to recognize ourselves as descendants of enslaved Africans. Somehow or the other, we are unable to do that. I don't know how, beloved, but I have tried. For 50 years, using this platform to hopefully disseminate information and enlightenment, I've had to come to realize that, beloved, we really don't want to deal with our reality as descendants, yes, descendants of enslaved Africans. It's like, no, Mary, leave that alone. That's too much. Leave that alone. Leave that alone. And shamefully, that's where we are. And so, all I can say time and time again is that, beloved, we don't have to start with a big splash. Over and over, you've heard me say, eggs. Just a simple thing like eggs. Yes, I don't have any statistics to share with you, but I think you would agree with me that we consume a lot of eggs in this unincorporated territory called the Virgin Islands of the United States. I think we'll all agree, yes, we consume a lot of eggs. So the next question is, why don't we produce the eggs that we consume? Eggs, that's not eggs. We're not talking about, making automobiles, making airplanes or cruise ships or something. No. Eggs, beloved, just eggs. Why can't we make ourselves completely independent of importing eggs? Just eggs. You tell me. Because I see it as simple as it might seem. It's just a stepping stone to inside out cultivation. That's a little stepping stone. Eggs. Is that too big a task? Is that too much to ask of our government? Because, beloved, that's what governments are for. Whether it's the governor, the lieutenant governor, the delegate to Congress, the senators. You mean to tell me none of them can't come up with a program to incentivize the production of eggs? Yeah, just eggs. So that just down the road, hopefully, not years, but just down the road, we'll be able to raise our arms in the sky and say, guess what? we are independent of imported eggs. That's right. We now produce enough eggs to supply what we consume and more. Beloved, the way I see it, that would be a milestone achievement. To just be able to make that statement that we now produce more eggs than we consume. You think that could happen? Of course it could happen. The question is, why wouldn't a governor, a lieutenant governor, a delegate to Congress, or any of the 15 senators that we elect, why can't any of them come up with a program to incentivize the production of eggs? Eggs, beloved, that's how it's about eggs. It's not a major undertaking. Yet, it's like teaching our students Virgin Islands history. It seems like something that should be taken for granted. Of course. How could you have schools? How could you have an education department and yet you don't teach your own history? Oh, come on now. No. But yet that is the reality. And so it's like producing eggs. Nothing complicated. Nothing that required any major investment. But yet, somehow, when it comes to inside-out cultivation, when it comes to developing ourselves, finding a way for us to sustain ourselves as a people, then all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know, some kind of inferiority virus or something that just hold us back. I mean, how we get so? Well, beloved, unfortunately, yes, unfortunately, this is the reality. And it might sound like I'm overdoing it. And as we used to say, breaking the record, playing the same tune over and over and over and over again. But that was all time because we don't deal with records now. But beloved, whether it's a video or a text, however which way you want to make use of the platform, the point is just that. Why is it that when it comes to things of developing ourselves from the inside out, all of a sudden, it's a major dilemma. It's like, let us say, a bridge too far. And suddenly, we can't do it. And we come up with all kind of irrational justifications to explain why it can't happen, why we can't produce eggs, why we can't teach our children their own history. Basic, fundamental things. But somehow they are major, major accomplishments that somehow we are just not equipped to deal with. And so here we are. But I'm doing my best to try to, well, as emphatic as I can without being hyperbolic, to drive home the point that, beloved, this is my last opportunity for this year of 2025, which is exactly 400 years since the European, the Dutch in particular, made a settlement on this 84 square mile island called St. Croix. It's been exactly 400 years. And it's problematic, truly problematic to us, that 204 of that 400 years, the institution, that odious institution called chattel enslavement, was what our ancestors had to find the courage to resist. And they did. But here we are, beloved. All right. Just in time for the 3:30 crucial history question. I'm going to bring it in. It's a call. I got a call. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, Mario, it seems as if you're having some phone problems, at least from what I have seen out here.
Oh yeah. Well, the phones go through the office. I'm the last person to know what's going on with the phones.
Yeah, why I say that is both numbers will ring and ring and ring and ring till some man command tell you to enter your access code. And you do that, and then the next time it will seem as if somebody pick up, because then you see your seconds running how long you've been holding, but then it drops.
Again, that's the office that's beyond me. I don't know, but use your time, because we got less than 5 minutes before we go into the contest.
Yeah, I'm watching the clock. Yeah, I've been listening to you, and no matter how much I try, even though I'm not trying, can't find anything incorrect or wrong with what you say. I don't know. You ask a question and you keep asking the same question about the things that the misleaders have done or not done. And the word is so big for me. Incentivization, incentivizing to do certain things or not do it. And the only answer, and I said to myself, gee, I wish that was a question he was given for the Aisha thing today, because I believe the answer would be that they just don't want to do it. And I don't know why any governor, any senator, any delegate to the House of Representatives would have their pocket and their drawers full of federal money from SOCAT 5 and COVID, and don't use that money to build new schools, build new hospitals, build new power plants. I mean, I don't know why. Why would they not? That's the reason we got the money. But yes, it's easier to find all kinds of foolish answers, like the one the governor said, because they don't know how this job is. What job and what? Brother man, all you as any governor have to do is to, there's no school you're going to be a governor. So if you have economists and electrical engineers and structural engineers, you let them do their work and stop micromanaging them. What job is hard? What is that much? We don't know how hard this job is. But then again, you see, Mario, he has them and those amongst us who would prop him up and make him feel maybe much taller than you, because yes, they agree with him that we, the vociferous minority, don't know how this job is. I don't know, man. How much longer, God, dear Jesus, dear Jah, how much longer? Maria said something that I've said often, repeated times. And the truth, I told about this at the very first time with the bill that he and Gideon Cricket and I think it was Ruby Simmons, I believe, came up with. So it's all about Brian Law. If it was somebody else, particularly a dominant Democrat, it would have passed CASS. But it's about Brian. So you are going to stranglehold and suffer generations of children because Paul Brian came up with it. My God. And then these people are going to church every Sunday. They're going to tell you their questions. They're going to take communion. It should stick around their throat and choke up. My God. But you hate a man that much that you'll suffer generations of children. And they would want we to swallow the foolishness that the CEO of WAPA is doing the best he can, and that the governor is the best governor the world has ever had. Mario,
Yes,
are you
sir.
sorry for our week?
Well, you're not alone. You're not alone, my son.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish you luck with it.
Yes,
I wish you luck with the questions.
yeah, okay.
Alrighty. And yes, beloved, we are just about ready to take our final break so that we could come back with beautiful Aisha center stage, and I will, as she instruct me, come up with the Crucian history question for you to give me the correct answer for a full quart of your favorite flavor of Absam ice cream. So lick your cream, because Absam ice cream is just so good for your soul. And I hope you are ready for the Crucian history question, because I am obedient to the lady I call my general, and she expects me to come up with a proper and most appropriate Crucian history question. Beloved, just last week, this time, we did a Crucian history question that had us in the legislature of the Virgin Islands. Well, it was so exciting that I have gone right back to the legislature to see if it would be as excited as it was last week. Please remember now, we are talking about Crucian history. So yes, you know, the legislature of the Virgin Islands is made up of senators from St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John. But because we are dealing with our Crucian history question, we're dealing with the Crucian senators. So let's get that clear. Now then, beloved, the president of the legislature acquires that position. In other words, that person becomes president because a majority of the 15-member body decides to vote that person in as the president of the body. Beloved, in the same way that a majority votes to install a president, very similarly, the majority could, at its choosing, decide to vote a president out of office in what we would comically at times call a coup. They pull a coup. And so the person that was president gets voted out of office by a majority. Now that I hope I have explained that properly, I want to ask of you to identify the senator who was voted president of the legislature and then voted out of being president of the legislature in the shortest period of time. Remember now, we're talking about St. Croix now, St. Croix. So tell me, which St. Croix senator was voted president of the legislature by a majority? That's the only way it's going to work. And then that same person, that same senator, voted out of the presidency by a majority in the shortest period of time. Tell me the name of the senator that was there for the shortest period of time, and tell me the year that this took place. Good afternoon to you.
Hey, good afternoon, beloved. It was the 8th senator.
It was who?
The 8% senator.
The 8% senator. I don't know who that is. Tell me the name.
Ronnie Russell.
Was it Ronnie Russell? Whatever it was, Ronnie Russell. What year did it happen? I want the name of the senator and the year that it happened.
Beloved, you just added that. You just
No,
added an addendum.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
I didn't hear you answer here, but I don't know the year. I'll let somebody else try. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Beloved, I thought I made myself clear, but I want to know the name of the senator and the year that happened.
Okay, you're there with me?
I'm with you.
Would it be Eddie Rivera?
Would it be Eddie Rivera and what?
Uh-huh.
All right, and Eddie Rivera, and what year would this be?
The year I can't remember right now.
Well, then you got to wheel and come again.
Okay.
All righty. Beloved, we want to know, remember we're talking St. Croix now. Got to be a St. Croix senator that was voted in as president of the legislature and then voted out as president of the legislature in the shortest period of time. So give me the name of the senator and the year that this happened. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon again, beloved.
All right. It looks like you don't set up for me, sir. I'm ready to give you the ice cream.
Let me see. It was Kenny L. Gittins, and the year was 2018.
Wait, repeat it again. The name. Oh.
Kenny L. Gittins. Kenny Gittins.
Yes, and
the year was 2018.
2018, Kenny Gittins. Beloved, what you all say? Because I say, we and come again. Yes, beloved. The St. Croix senator that was in there for the shortest period of time. I want the name and I want to know the year that happened. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mario.
Yes.
Yes, I would say Ruby Rose.
You would say Ruby Rose, and you would say what year?
And I would say 1987.
And I would say, give that man some cream to lick. Give that man some cream to lick. Senator Ruby Rose it was. She was voted in president in January of 1987. And then March, January, February, March, the 9th day of March, the senators voted her out and replaced her with Iva Stridiron.
Right.
So, beloved, yes, we got a winner. Ruby Rose was there for 2 months.
Wow.
2 months. And they say, no, we want a coup. We want her out. And the St. Thomians voted her out and replaced her with Iva Stridiron.
Right.
So now, from you, we need your full name, and then we're going to get the cream too.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Derek Hendricks.
As usual.
Right. And I'm giving it to Janelle Kana. The spell for thing is spelled.
Wait, slow down. All right, go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, it's Janelle. And then Kana.
Kana with a K?
No, with a C.
C-O-N-N?
Yeah, C-O-N-N-O-R.
Okay. Janelle Kana. And let me see. It wasn't so long ago, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, you got them through the years for the Herald. You give it to Ira Francis.
Yes, I've given some.
Yeah. But this is Janelle Kana. You got you some cream for the Christmas. And all we want to remind you is that please pick it up by next week, Tuesday.
Next week, Tuesday. Okay, that sounds good.
Between now and then. Anytime between now and then. All right.
Okay.
But Derek, hey, you what's the name? Mr. Nibs? Yeah, Mr. Nibs gonna get it for you because Mr. Nibs wanted to be sure that he was going to get. He said, Yeah, he had 9 wins so far. He wanted to get at number 10. But I think you got more than that. You got definitely more than that. You've been
Yeah, I think I'm.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I said I'm sure that you got more than 10.
Yeah, maybe 11. Not too much more.
Not too much more.
No.
That's what I remember because one thing, it was a long time ago, probably I think more than a year, but nobody could figure out what was a dripstone.
Right.
You could remember that?
Yes, I remember. I got that answer from my sister-in-law.
Well, look at that. See that? That was over a year ago. I remember just when I said, "Well, there you go." Well, you got good and knowledgeable people around you too.
Yeah.
Well, anyhow, compliments to the season to you and yours, all of your family, and to you we say congratulations, Derek Hendricks. You make me proud. You make me proud.
Right, and thank you very much, Brother Mario. Thanks for all the education and enlightenment over the years. And we love you at that point. All right?
All the best to you. Thank you much. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. Take care.
All right. And beloved, there you have it. There you have it. Senator Ruby Rouse was voted in as president of the 17th legislature, January 1987. And by the 9th day of March, the legislature, the 17th legislature said, no. We need a coup. We got to get rid of Senator Ruby Rouse. And they removed Senator Ruby Rouse and replaced her with Senator Ivor Stradairan. That was the 17th legislature. And Derek Hendricks gave us the answer. Good afternoon to you.
Mario,
I am here. You missed out on it, man.
you see how people's mind of the tricks on them? So seriously, I was going to start off by saying Ruby Rouse,
Yeah,
but I still would have been wrong because I was going to say 85.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But look what messed me up. What messed me up is the fact that Ruby Rouse had reached a hand up high and tried to run for governor along with John Bell.
Yes.
And I remember the word from people like myself is they should have stayed where they were. Because they have been re-elected forever.
Yeah.
So I let my mind get clouded now. As I heard the president say that, oh, Jesus, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said, you said 87 and I will give you 85.
Yeah.
You see?
Yep. Well, there it is. Well, it
So
was Ruby Rouse.
I go into 2026 with an uneven number 9.
Yeah.
So I'm going by a little casino down the road and I'm driving some dice take there tonight.
Do your best, my son. Do your best. Because poor Ruby Rouse, all they gave her was 2 months. The vote in January and the 9th of March. The 9th day of March, they said, Ruby, you got to go.
I remember that very well.
Yeah.
But it's funny, Mario, because there's someone that's still working in the legislature that I could have called and they'll give me the correct answer. But I said, man, you think you got to know that. So then I start thinking at St. John, I start thinking at Eddie Rivera.
Yeah.
And that's what I told you, Eddie Rivera, but we're wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, these things are good, and it's good
that's the point that beautiful Aisha made to me when she came with this, and I said, yes, you're absolutely right. You know, this would make people confront the reality that we are the ones making ourselves ignorant,
Exactly.
because all it is for us to have it in the schools so that every student, that's what the law says, from kindergarten to 12th grade, you are going to get BI history and basic Caribbean history.
But Mario, even though that's the law,
Yeah.
I have heard a certified science teacher, but it didn't really mean that. They didn't mean it as a standalone. They didn't mean it as. I don't know, man. What are we doing to ourselves?
I don't know, my son. I don't know, but I'm not giving up on it, my son. I gonna stick with it all the way, until it is in place. Because I mean, and I mean, the history is so glorious. We should be proud of our history, proud of our ancestors.
All right.
But it's like, I don't know. We don't want to be associated with Africa. We don't want to be associated with slavery. I mean, it's like, what? That's our reality. That's our history. And that is the reason why we should be working so hard for inside out cultivation to build ourselves up.
But Mario, I'm going after saying this or asking this. It's the same science teacher to which I make reference chastise me saying I'm following Mario and Lord Brian. Who should I follow then?
Thank you.
My God, I don't understand.
But that's what I have all my adult life. I have been on this. I've got myself in all kind of trouble, been in jail, get beat up, all kind of thing happened to me. And all what? Because I stand up for my own people. And so many of my people are watching my face. I had a police chief, a chief of police, tell me my face in the street in Christiansted. How could I ever forget that? Pointed in my face. Somebody should shoot you black. I won't say it. I won't say it. black beep. Son, and get you out of here. Because all you're doing is you are ruining this island.
Ruining Shibera.
That's right. And that's what. Well, she was a police chief, and there's a precinct now named for her. And that woman told me that to my face.
I know the farm you're talking about.
Told me that to my face.
But Mario, the thing is this. I don't know. I mean, they call you a communist. I mean, what else have they called you?
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. What have they not called me? You understand?
Mario, I'm going now, but this is it. I got in a kerfuffle in a mine St. Croix one night. They called the police. And the sergeant, there was 3 women came and 2 men.
Yeah.
He was heated as if I had committed something in the Cleveland place. All I did was give my thoughts of a political situation, but it didn't fit with the white folk out.
Yeah.
And this police, when she then going on, I told her, you're going to shoot me. She said, I will shoot you. I wasn't going to waste a bullet. Jesus Christ. Look what we come to.
You telling me? You're telling me?
In St. Croix, in the Virgin Island, a black woman like me, a black man.
Yes, sir. I have lived it all my adult life. So I know.
Well, maybe because I follow you and boss when you're coming after me now.
I don't know. Compliment to the season, my son. Enjoy it.
The same to you, and you get home safe and enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mario.
Thank you for your call and for your patience, man. Welcome.
Yeah, I just called and I like that note, you know, I mean, I called to pick up Sister Aisha for doing this stuff for, I think it's 4 years, this for make it.
I think so. Yes, but, yeah. I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
it's at least 3 years, and I mean, and so I got that. So I was give her credit, and some people said me, yeah, I got a car, beautiful Aisha, but she a general thing. I said, listen, this is my platform. I am the host, and I could use the words that I choose to because I am not offending the federal government rules and regulations.
Right.
You understand? And hey, I think that everybody, will agree that this is a good thing. It's a good thing, and it is her idea, and I continue to give her credit for it.
Yeah, man, I could have been sentimental.
And somebody with a memory like yours own, you you could write a book just at the thing that you learned from Aisha.
That's what some of my friends tell me so much.
Yeah.
I know her before she was she become a general, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So big up Aisha wherever you are.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's good, man. That's a very, very good thing she's doing for the community and the people in good.
For sure.
Very, very good thing.
For sure.
So big up again, Mrs. Have a good Christmas.
Yes, sir.
And you too, Mario.
All right, man. Many happy reach out to you and yours, eh?
All right, thank you.
Good thing. All right. Good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, greetings. How you doing today?
How there, man? I trying to find you. Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. This I tell you up and pushing you happy birthday and all and above, you know?
Oh, look at this. Beloved, this is Ital from St. John's, man. The one and the only. Take a big cruise and hung up, man. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, man. Every time I see before you I'm up and down, it's just straight from strong. You know, just picking you up, man, and wishing you many more, my brother.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
Your love to all the people that over in cruise as well, man.
Well, I got to give you the return because, hey, for all you do out of St. John, for the St. Georgians, out of St. John, for all the Virgin Islanders,
Yeah, man.
beloved, you have contributed a lot.
Give them. So have you, my brother. You have continued many more to be here, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. Anyway, pure love, I just wanted to touch strong that.
Good thing. Stay strong. All right. Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Moore.
Mario Moorhead. Mario would be fired with me. Welcome to you.
I usually don't say Mr. Moore, but I'm getting the old coming in. It's like 2 replays. So blessed to you, and it's good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
And I want to say to Mary and to beautiful Aisha,
Yes.
going up from a young girl, or say not a baby, but from a young girl going to elementary school.
Well, look at that.
Yes, I do. I part of her life. I want to say I am so proud of her, and always will be. And she haven't changed from the drive that I've known to have.
Yes.
All her other brothers and sisters that she's had.
Yes.
And I'm glad that she kept that drive and did not let it deter her. And a very strong individual.
Yes, she is. Oh, yes, that is for sure. That is for sure. Because as you said that, somehow it reminded me of conversations we had when she was taking care of her mother, and the final days, I think. And I said, hey, you are a strong woman, Aisha. You are a strong woman. But she did it.
Yes, she did. And very resilient mind. And I like that, and I wish my mother was alive to see it. But at the same time, for the years that she's done and the things that she's done, not just for St. Croix, but for the Virgin Islands.
Right.
As a big thing. The history things, because she always talk about history. She loves school books. She likes to read. She loves to read.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was one of her favorite subjects. But I must say, working with you two, her being with you, I did tell her the last conversation I had, I think it was a couple of years, because I didn't know her name was beautiful Aisha.
Yeah.
Just knowing to soak up all the information that she could get from you. To soak it up.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Yeah. And if she can maybe pass it on, not wishing anything to you, Baba, but she'll be the one to pass on that torch, that baton.
Yes,
you know?
indeed. Yes, indeed.
So
Of course, yes.
everything. But Baba, I'm sorry that I'm not able to be down there at this time, and I hope that I get a chance, if God's willing, to get a chance to see you and come back home and get a chance to see you.
I'm going to be here waiting for you. I'm only 86. I'm going to be here waiting for you.
Well, I remember just you got to come back in the car, get up there, But still, at the same time, Baba, I'm going to get some more thanks and hopefully to hear you next year. I think it's you'll be on in January.
Yes. Yeah, this is just for the Christmas break. We're going to be in January.
Okay.
After the holidays, yeah.
Well, you eat well, you take care of yourself, get your seat back.
Will do.
And love you, and thank you for all the mentorship that I have gotten from you, not just on the station, but in the class at school, because I don't think that I had that debate type of mind that I have right now to be able to accomplish a lot of the things that I have. This also with my parents.
That's so kind of you. So kind. Thank you.
A lot of blessings to you and the elders before, the elders at home. And I thank you, and you keep doing school.
I have no choice.
You're the only one holding up the tree.
I have no choice.
Okay, blessings, Ashe, and happy holidays.
Ashe, my dear, and many happy returns to you and yours.
I give thanks.
Yes, all right. And yes, beloved, this is our final break for today and for 2025. So lick your cream, beloved, because after ice cream is just so good for your soul. We're back, beloved. And I don't need to tell you, but I will tell you anyhow. This is the last lap. And so it is your turn to get your last lick in the last lap. So we got to call out holding on. So let us do the right thing and welcome them. Good afternoon.
Greetings, Mario. How are you?
I am well, and I am glad to be able to thank you for your patience and welcome you aboard.
Yes. I joined the show today, getting a lot of inside cultivative knowledge. Mario, I hope that these good for nothing misleaders, as you refer to them to, which I like very much,
Yeah,
and Mr. Go to Ghana, nobody know he was going there.
right,
But lie to us and say that he going there with a delegation
right.
with the AI generated pictures that we be seeing
Tell me
of the
about
trip.
it. Right.
Mario, before me, you, Mary, Dr. Copeman, brother Baptiste, Sinclair Williams, before all of we leave this earth,
Yeah,
we're going to get to see something terrible. And that is going to be young people getting rid of public officials, elected officials, and politicians. If the children do not learn VI history,
yeah,
if the children do not learn basic Caribbean history, if they don't learn how important they are, Mario,
yeah.
they're going to learn of worthlessness and stupidness like handguns, pistols, shotguns, and rifles.
Good point. Good point you're making. Yeah, yeah.
So when we start to see young people who have no knowledge of how important they are, no knowledge of their history, no knowledge of where they came from, no knowledge about their African ancestry,
Yeah,
but they know about stupidness, Mario, they're going to act on it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
before we go any place, we're going to get to see it, and I'm not going to get in the way. Because this is an excellent opportunity to start. See, Act 4844 was put into law for a very good reason, to educate our children. Imagine, I got educated for 12 years in the United States, Virgin Islands, before coming to the States.
yeah,
I knew nothing about Denmark Tessie. I knew nothing about David Hamilton Jackson.
right.
I knew nothing about Caspar Holstein.
Yeah,
I never knew nothing about General Boudreaux, nothing.
yeah,
But I knew the capital of every state in the United States. I was even able to tell people when I came to the state who the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan was.
how about that? Yeah.
I couldn't even tell people who Cyril E. King was.
I hear
I
you.
couldn't. But I could tell people stupidness about Abraham Lincoln
Right.
and George Washington. These people were prolific slave lovers. They loved slavery.
Right.
They loved the idea of it. They didn't like black people, but they liked what was between black women's legs. Explain that to me. How that the work, Mario? How that the work?
Again, I
Jesus,
don't even want to know that.
Mario, the atrocities that our people have had to suffer and continue to suffer today under mental slavery is beyond handle. And these senators we got in our legislature, they are aiding and abetting that effort, as well as the no-good governor and his entire administration.
That is true.
I hope in this next election that we're getting rid of every senator that we got for brand new one, for people that actually care about the people.
Yeah.
And the welfare of the populace of the United States, Virgin Islands. Mario, I even asked your wonderful sister, would she be interested in becoming a senator? But you know what? She said, no, her thing is education and education only.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it was Brother R I heard that said education over everything. And I know I understand what he was saying, what he really and truly meant. We coming up short on our history. Because of you, Coleman, Brother R, that wonderful book you wrote, Crucial Dialogue, Defining the Problem, I know my history. I could sit down and have a conversation with somebody and I could hold my own about history. Before that, me had a clue as to what's going on. I would look at that VI flag and I didn't even know that that eagle in the middle of our flag, that's a colonial thing. That's a nasty, dirty, worthless colonial thing. That eagle on our flag. And I want it gone. I hope we can even get a new flag design. And I know our young people can take care of that because we got some intelligent minds in our wonderful United States, Virgin Islands.
For sure.
Mario, I didn't even know somebody tried to take your life once in Carnival until my wife told me.
Yeah.
And it kicked me off. And then she explained to me, because you explained to the listening audience what happened. And I said, my God, honey, you know, in the USVI, I tell you, wickedness can't do.
Yeah.
People, it got a lot of good people in the VI, Mario, but it got some wicked, dirty, good for nothings, like you just said. And they run it wrong loose, you know.
Yeah.
I wish we could get them all in the water and drag them under. I wish. But Mario, I want you to stay strong and in the fight. I told you this before, you're going to live long. You're going to the triple digits.
All right.
Remember, I said so, you know, so when you reach 100, you're going to say, what? Baldhead was right, man, and Asop was right. I'm telling you, you're going to the triple digits. Not everybody going to make it, but you going.
All right.
You crossing that threshold. Mario, thank you for being the power, the encouragement, and you are, you know what, you're too humble. You say you're not a historian, but you are.
Yeah.
Because even Coleman, Brother R, I've even heard of Ross. Brother Ross, Christopher referred to you as a Virgin Island historian. Not just a St. Croix or a Crucian historian, but a Virgin Island historian.
Well, I thank
Mario,
you for that.
Stay safe. Yes. Mario, you stay safe.
With support like you have been there for me. I mean, you're always there. And so you and your wife, you know, again, I'm only 86, man. I got a long ways to go to.
Good. You stay in there. You got much more to go. And before I go, I just want to say something.
Please.
Culture we want. Roots and culture we want. Thank you so much, Brother Mario, for your power and your encouragement. I really miss Robert.
Thank you.
I really miss Robert B. Moorhead.
Yes.
And as far as Anascope go, I have asked around about Mr. Alexander Moorhead, and everyone I spoke to had nothing but excellent and top-tier things to say about Alexander Moorhead. Brother, thank you for your power. Thank you for everything. Keep up the good work. Godspeed and all the best, okay?
Thank you. All the best to you. Enjoy. Stay strong. All right.
Easy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Pleasant good afternoon and Crucian season greetings.
Many happy returns to you and yours. Welcome.
Thank you. And once again, I want to pay tribute to Michael Springer as I listen to some of the information, the enlightenment. I will always remember his message. Small minds talk about people, medium minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas. And I like that he talk about ideas and how we could promote our Virgin Islands history and Virgin Islands proud. And I have an idea. I wonder what's your thoughts on it? Like we have shanties all over this island, St. Croix as well, St. Thomas and St. John.
Yes.
I'm thinking for each respective island, it should be named after an individual who has contributed to our Virgin Islands history. And there should be a biography there for everybody to read when they go to that shanty. And it could be a community project or a school project where children from even elementary level decide to design the shanty, because I don't like how they all look the same. They should have different colors, and they should also have the official flower represented, the official bird, the seal for the Virgin Islands of the United States.
Yeah.
And as I said, each one, if it's at St. Croix, it should be named after Crujan.
Well, I mean,
equality.
I'm just responding by saying it sounds like a wonderful idea. Unfortunately, the good front misleaders that we have as our government, I don't think that they would see it as positively as, well, the rest of us would. But again, we have no reason to deny our history. It's a great history, a courageous history, a visionary history, a history of resistance of our people, and we should embrace it. And again, this is all you're doing is, giving another way in which we can be proud of our history and manifest it to one another, to share in it and to, give it a cruise around up,
Well, hopefully this coming election is going to be different, and somebody is going to run with the idea, because I think it's something. It's an innovative way to teach Virgin Islands history, and also we can't be doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. It's insanity. So we have to come up with an approach.
Well, Madam Einstein, again, we are most appreciative, and I think it's a wonderful idea. And again, it's just really disseminating the very history that we are jointly fighting to get in our schools, so that yes, to have it the shanties be they'll be living textbooks. I mean, what I'm hearing from you is to make every shanty a textbook, about different individuals, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, I was whispered very loudly, and maybe the powers to be would be inspired and brought with the idea. I don't know. Or the aspirants, see what happens. We'll see what happens. But, we can't give up. We have a representative democracy, and we should not relinquish our rights and privilege to elect. We shape the government. It's government for the people, of the people, and by the people. So if we want to see better government, I will hope everybody that's eligible to register to vote and participate in the process, because every vote counts, and that's a way for your voice to be heard. They may not listen to you on the radio, but your vote counts. Every vote counts. So that's my message. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best to you and yours.
Okay.
And so, yes, beloved, we're down to the final minutes of our 2025 platform. And then someone asked, yes, it's not the end, but I expect that after the holidays in January, we'll be back and we will continue with our information and enlightenment journey to hopefully, well, if nothing else, persevere in convincing the courts and whoever else in our government, in our Department of Education, that, hey, that it is indeed a good thing to have Virgin Islands history and basic Caribbean history in our school system from kindergarten through 12th grade. Our history is rich and it's inspiring. You know, I continue to research it, learn about it, and well, share it as best as I can because, like I said, it's just a 84 square mile island. It's I love St. Croix, and I'm not in any way disparaging St. Thomas or St. John. It just so happens that this is where I was born. This is where I live, St. Croix. But St. Croix, as an 84 square mile island, is huge. It's large beyond those 84 square mile islands. And beloved, all I can say to you is that we have had every opportunity to embrace, or as I could have said, to give our Crucian hug up. And I don't know why, but we are always too hesitant to give ourselves the Crucian hug up that we deserve. Because, beloved, even under the desperation of chattel enslavement, we, our ancestors, produced Muscovado sugar that was the equal of Jamaica and Barbados, that was supposed to be the best in the Caribbean. And beloved, I say this to just share with you the greatest of people. I mean, the simple is like, beloved, remember the first legal labor union was the St. Croix Labor Union. I mean, again, that's St. Croix again. I don't know of anywhere in the Caribbean, matter of fact, I don't know of anywhere in the world where an enslaved people have confronted the enslavers and says, today you are going to set us free or else. Beloved, where else does that happen? People like say, they Haiti. I said, Haiti, yes. I don't want to take anything away from Haiti. But they never confronted the enslavers. They were talking about freedom. And they got their freedom in time. But beloved, in terms of physical enslavement, chattel enslavement, where humanity is ripped from you. Beloved, this is what our ancestors endured. And to be able to confront the enslavers who are always ready to end your life. 1733. Beloved, I was just reminded 1733. And Brefu as a female, but many well, don't like to do it as Queen Candace, Queen Nzinga, so forth again, because, well, one of these days we fully understand that the matriarchal way of life is not Amazons like they would have us to believe that we are here. And again, it is such a rich history that, beloved, the Frederiksted Fort, the military installation that was built to keep our ancestors in chains. And beloved, we neutralized it to the point where, depending on the narrator, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000, up to 12,000 people are saved. But our ancestors, with their hearts full of the commitment that today is the last day that I am going to be physically enslaved. Freedom now or else. And beloved, there is just so much more that we need to embrace. And I said to give it a crucial hug up, that we understand that our ancestors did this to give us the pathway to a brighter tomorrow. And this is where we are right here and now, beloved, as we come to what is, well, the last of our platform for 2025. And that's why I said to you, beloved, it was in the year 1625 that the Dutch were the first Europeans to settle this 84 square mile island. That makes this year 400 years. 400 years that Europeans have settled this 84 square mile island. And 204 years out of those 400 were actually chattel enslavement. And I make every effort that we understand that it wasn't just enslavement, but chattel enslavement. This is when, beloved, our humanity was ripped from us. And we became things. We became property. The property that belonged to our enslavers. And with that, beloved, I said to you, we owe it not just to ourselves, not just to our ancestors, but to the little pygmies, like the eyes of what I'm looking at right here and now. We owe it to them. So, beloved, lick your cream, because some ice cream is just so good for your soul that you come to understand, beloved, that ain't no basket that any enslaver could give us that will be too big for us. That we as a people can say, 1-1. We could fill up that basket just as long as we do it together.